Good afternoon, Year 9. The final little task for today. This is found on page 12, and it's just after the article that we read through together. So on this last page, you have to answer a couple of questions. The first question, in your opinion, describe what will happen at the Malthusian trap, the point of crisis. Okay, so that's very similar to the question above. So remember, describe what's going to happen here. Remember, we said population's increasing very quickly or very rapidly, but resources are increasing at a steady rate. So there's going to be a point where there's not enough resources to meet what the population needs. Okay, so going back to page 12, question number 4, why in countries where there's also an increase in wealth, is there likely to be an increase in demand for less healthy and less environmentally friendly Western style diets? So you're sort of thinking about those countries where people are now making more and more money. Why do you think people that are making more and more money are going to maybe have a less healthy and less environmentally friendly diet? And in my opinion, when it's saying countries that are going to have an increase in health, so if we have a scroll back up to your article, okay, and in this particular paragraph, it actually tells you some of the countries that are going to have an increase in wealth as well. So these countries are countries like India, China, and Africa. Okay, they're going to have an increase in population, but also an increase in wealth. And so basically, my opinion is that for the first time, a lot of people in those particular countries are making more money than they ever have before. And so that they have more money to spend on foods that they weren't used to growing up. So if someone was used to eating, for example, rice, and that was a staple dish, and you would eat rice, and rice is quite inexpensive. If that person, as they're growing up and getting older, is making more and more money, they're going to want to try lots of different foods, such as meat, such as seafood, that they didn't have in their childhood. Okay, so I guess the more money people have, they tend to maybe then spend it on foods that are not environmentally friendly. Remember, we said foods that are not environmentally friendly are things like meat, and fish and milk products too. Okay. Number 5, how is climate change going to impact food security? I think that's quite straightforward, Year 9. So I'm going to let you answer that question on your own, but I would like you to think about how is maybe the temperature change going to impact on us producing food and us making food. Um, so that's something that I think you can do on your own. Question 5. Question 6, define sustainable intensification. Okay, so for question number 6, a good little trick is that if you don't know what something means, sometimes break up the words. So you guys would know what sustainable means, okay? So sustainable is being able to do something in a manner that is environmentally friendly so that you can sustain that and keep doing that for a longer period of time. Intensification, so think of the word intense, okay? So intense means something increases. So this word really means how can we increase the amount of food we're producing in a sustainable way? Okay, so how can we increase how much food we're producing in a sustainable way? We need to increase the amount of food we're producing because our population is getting bigger and bigger. And finally, number 7, the simple solution to the issue of food security is that we all demand less, eat more sustainably, and be careful with our resources. Why is this more easier said than done? Okay, so this is a little bit of an opinion question, okay? Thinking, how do we make people in the world demand less? If someone says, I want the best seafood in the world, I want the best meat in the world, how do we make people demand less? Can we make people eat more sustainably? So they said to be more sustainable, we'll have to cut out meat, or not cut out completely, but reduce meat, seafood, and dairy. Can we make everyone across the globe reduce how much they eat of these products and be more careful with our resources? Okay. Is this easier said than done? So is it easier to give this advice? Would it be easy to actually make these changes and make people make these changes? So this is asking for your opinion on that. Thank you, Year 9. We're now done for all your work on the 1st of April 2020. Great job and keep up the hard work at home. Well done.